Welcome to our deep dive into AI. This week focusing on all the action from March 14th through the 16th. We've got articles, podcasts, you name it, even a YouTube video in the mix.
Really feels like drinking from a fire hose, doesn't it?
Yeah, AI moves fast. But that's why we're here, cut through the noise, figure out what actually matters.
Absolutely. And I think this week's a perfect snapshot of where AI's at. Big wins, big hype, and some big questions starting to pop up.
Well, let's start with a name everyone knows. Nvidia just finished their giant GTC conference, and as usual, expectations were sky high.
Oh, yeah. Their new RTX 50 series cards are already being scalped like crazy.
And on top of that, reports are saying they've poured money into, over 80 AI startups these past few years.
Smart move, honestly. Nvidia knows they can't just be the hardware guys in this AI gold rush. They want to be the whole darn gold rush.
So picks, shovels, and the general store all in one. But Bloomberg's analysis, they're suggesting NVIDIA's at a crossroads here. Innovate or get left behind.
Right. They're calling it future-proof or fizzle, which sounds a little dramatic.
But why, though? What's the challenge for a company like NVIDIA, seemingly on top of the world?
Competition, mainly. GPUs have been king for AI, but others are catching up. Google, Amazon, they're all making their own custom AI chips now.
So it's not just about raw power anymore.
Not really. Plus, there's this trend toward more efficient AI models that can run on, less beefy hardware.
Meaning NVIDIA can't just keep making bigger, badder GPUs forever.
Exactly. They've got to think software, services, maybe even totally new types of hardware.
Which brings us back to that GTC conference. They made a big deal about their Omniverse platform. Metaverse for engineers, they're calling it.
Yeah, not quite the metaverse Zuckerberg's pushing. Think of it like a shared virtual space to design stuff, simulate it, work together on digital twins.
The digital twin.
Copies of real-world things, but virtual. So, you could have a digital twin of a jet engine, test it out virtually before building the real one.
Gotcha. So high-tech design tool, basically. But how does that tie back to AI?
Nvidia sees it as key for developing and training AI, especially for stuff like robotics, self-driving cars. Imagine training a car AI in a perfect virtual copy of a city before it ever hits the real roads.
Sounds powerful, but also crazy complex. Is this something everyday folks will be using anytime soon?
Right now, it's aimed at companies, big projects. But Nvidia has hinted at consumer uses down the line. Imagine designing your dream house in VR with an AI giving you suggestions.
Okay, that I can wrap my head around. So NVIDIA, they've got the hardware, software, even a metaverse angle. Unstoppable.
Too early to tell. But they're not resting on their laurels, that's for sure. Actively trying to steer where AI goes next.
Speaking of competition, let's hop over to China for a sec. Baidu, the search engine giant there, they just released Ernie X1, new AI reasoning model taking aim at DeepSeek.
Oh yeah, that was a direct hit.
Yeah.
What's interesting is Ernie's focus on efficiency. Baidu says it can do what DeepSeek does, but using half the computing power.
So cheaper AI, basically. That sounds good, but how's that even possible? What's different about Ernie?
It's all in the architecture. They've been working on this thing called sparse attention. Lets the model focus on the important info, ignore the noise, less work, same results.
Like a more focused AI cutting through the clutter. That'd be huge, especially for folks with limited computing power.
Huge. And it points to a bigger shift happening. It's not just about bigger models anymore. It's about making AI more accessible.
Which is where this whole vibe coding thing comes in. Sounds like something out of a movie, but developers are going crazy for it.
It is kind of sci-fi. Basically, using AI assistants to help write code. You tell it what you want in plain English, and the AI spits out working code.
So instead of typing every line, you just chat with the AI.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
And it's getting closer to reality thanks to better natural language processing and all that.
But hold on, what happens to human programmers then? Are we all out of a job?
It's a scary thought, no doubt, but I think it's more about collaboration. AI handles the boring stuff, humans focus on the big picture.
So working smarter, not harder.
Right. And it could even open up coding to people who don't know how to code traditionally. Imagine designers using AI to build interactive stuff.
Okay, now that is exciting. But let's be real, not all the AI news this week was sunshine and roses. Elon Musk and OpenAI are going at it, and it's getting messy.
Yeah, real public spat there.
Oh,
Musk is saying OpenAI went against their whole nonprofit thing, got too focused on money.
And OpenAI fired back, saying their move to for-profit was necessary to, keep the lights on, fund the research.
Classic clash of ideals versus reality.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than that, right? Microsoft's in the picture, too, after investing billions into OpenAI.
Right, and that raises the question of, well, how independent is OpenAI really? Are they becoming part of the Microsoft empire?
That's the billion-dollar question.
Hmm,
And one we'll have to keep watching as AI gets even more powerful.
definitely something to keep an eye on. And even Google, the AI giant, they're not having it all their way either. Reports say their AI-powered Siri upgrade is delayed because of accuracy problems.
And get this, there's even talk they might go back to in-person job interviews. Seems AI is making it too easy for people to cheat on the virtual ones.
Talk about unintended consequences. Google helped make AI what it is, and now it's coming back to bite them.
It just shows we're still figuring this whole AI thing out.
Feels like the Wild West out there right now. Exciting, tons of potential, but also, who knows what's going to happen next?
That's a great way to put it. But amidst all the hype, remember, AI is already having a real-world impact, good and bad.
Yeah, like those Nigerian farmers using AI to help grow crops. That's amazing. But then we have that Google Threat Analysis Group report showing how bad guys are using AI too.
And then there's the environmental impact, something a lot of people don't talk about enough.
So it's a mixed bag, to say the least.
Definitely. Lots to unpack. So back to this Elon Musk OpenAI thing. It's like a tech drama, right? Musk saying OpenAI went off the rails, turned their back on the initial AI for good mission.
Yeah, and to be fair, OpenAI didn't just sit there and take it. Basically said he was wrong, needed to check his facts.
Right. They're still saying they're committed to that original vision, even after going for profit. Their argument is, to do big things in AI, you need big money. That means investors.
But Musk isn't buying it, is he? He's pointing fingers at Microsoft saying OpenAI is too close to them now after that multi-billion-dollar investment.
Yeah, that's the tricky part. Microsoft's involvement does make you wonder, how much influence do they have? Especially with how big Microsoft is.
So not just a personality clash between Musk and OpenAI, but a bigger question of, well, who controls AI?
Exactly. And as AI gets more powerful, that debate's only going to get louder.
And then there's this whole other thing OpenAI is doing, lobbying for an AI action plan. They want to change how copyright law works for AI training data.
Oh, right, yeah. See, AI models, they learn from massive amounts of data, text, code, images. A lot of that is protected by copyright.
So what OpenAI is saying is, using that stuff to train AI, that should be fair use, even without permission.
Basically, their argument is AI transforms the data, creates something new, that new thing. That should be protected under fair use.
But that's got to be controversial, right? A lot of creators, artists, writers, they must be freaking out.
For sure. They're saying their work is being stolen, fed to these AI models, could put them out of business.
So it's AI companies wanting all the data they can get versus the people who create that data. That's a tough one.
It is, and it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Could change everything for AI development.
We've wandered into a legal and ethical maze, haven't we?
We have, but these are the conversations we need to be having. AI is here to stay. Got to figure out how to use it right.
Okay, well, speaking of figuring things out, even Google, the AI leader, they've stumbled a bit this week. We talked about those Siri upgrade delays because the AI wasn't accurate enough.
And then the rumor that they might go back to in-person job interviews because people are using AI to cheat on the virtual ones.
Almost ironic. Google's been pushing AI so hard, and now it's causing them headaches.
Yeah, but it's a good reminder. AI's still early days. We're all still learning, even the big players.
So even Google's making it up as they go along.
Pretty much. That's why it's important to be skeptical, not just buy into the hype.
Totally. But let's not forget, beyond all the corporate stuff and legal battles, AI is already touching people's lives, for better and worse.
100%. And this week, we've seen both sides.
Like those Nigerian farmers using AI to boost their crops, that's inspiring.
Shows the potential, right?
Yeah.
How AI can solve big problems. But as we said, there are downsides too.
Like the potential for misuse, bad actors using AI for bad things. That Google Threat Analysis Group report was pretty sobering.
Yeah, that really drove home the point that we need safeguards, ethical guidelines, all that. Can't just let AI run wild.
Now, before we get to AI agents, I want to zoom out a little. We've talked US, China, but what about the rest of the world? What's going on with AI in other places?
Oh, it's global for sure. Europe, India, all kinds of interesting stuff happening.
Prime Minister Modi was on Lex Fridman's podcast recently talking about India's AI ambitions.
They've got a ton of talent there, engineers, a fast-growing tech sector, and they're focusing on AI for their own challenges, like healthcare, financial stuff.
So not just copying Silicon Valley, but finding their own path.
Exactly. And Europe, they're taking a more cautious approach,
Yeah.
focused on privacy, ethics, all that.
Which makes sense for them. They're not going to jump in without thinking it through.
Right, and it's leading to cool innovations like this explainable AI thing, making AI's decisions transparent so we can understand how it's thinking.
So instead of just trusting a black box, we know why the AI does what it does.
Exactly. Builds trust, make sure AI is accountable.
So we've got this global AI ecosystem, everyone doing things their own way. It's not just one race, but lots of different paths leading to the same goal, right? Harnessing AI's power.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful, actually. All these minds working on different pieces of the puzzle.
A global brain, in a way. But all right, let's shift focus to something that's been blowing my mind. AI agents. We've touched on Monis, Automate, but there are so many popping up. It feels like how we use tech, it's about to change in a big way.
I think so, too. It's like moving toward a more natural way to interact with technology. You just tell your AI agent what you want. It figures out how to do it.
Like having a super smart assistant who handles all the digital stuff for you.
Exactly. And that could free up so much time and energy. Imagine writers using AI agents to research, brainstorm, designers using them for visual stuff.
It's like having a team of invisible helpers working alongside you.
That's a great way to think about it. It's about AI amplifying what humans can do, not replacing us.
But you gotta wonder, what happens if those AI agents get too smart, too independent?
Valid concern. And that's why we need these conversations about ethics, making sure AI aligns with our values, using it for good, not for bad.
And that's on all of us, right? Not just the tech companies, but everyone.
Absolutely. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
Okay, well, on that note, that wraps up part 2 of our AI deep dive. Lots covered, but still plenty more to explore.
Yeah, always more to learn with AI. It never stops.
Back for our final part of this AI deep dive. We've talked about the tech, the big players, even the ethical stuff. But I think it's good to remind ourselves that there are real people using AI in really cool ways.
Oh, for sure. Easy to get lost in the abstract, but AI is already making a difference out there in the real world, like those Nigerian farmers we mentioned, using AI to help grow more food, even with climate change messing things up.
That's awesome, but how does that actually work? What's the AI doing for those farmers?
Well, there's a few things going on. One is they're using these machine learning algorithms to analyze data from satellites and sensors to see how healthy the crops are, spot any problems early on.
So the AI is like a high-tech eye in the sky watching over the fields.
Pretty much. And it can analyze huge amounts of data, spot patterns a human might miss. Plus, there are AI-powered robots helping with planting, weeding, even harvesting the crops.
Wait, robots in the fields working with humans? Feels very futuristic.
It's happening. Robots can work nonstop, no complaints, and they can do really delicate stuff very precisely. So the farmers can focus on other things, the bigger picture.
Sounds like AI could really change the whole agricultural industry, make it more efficient, better for the environment too.
I think so. And it's not just about growing more. AI can help save water, use fertilizer better, good for farmers, good for the planet.
Now that's what I call progress. But let's talk about a different kind of creation for a minute. We've mentioned AI agents like Manus and Automate, and they seem to be blurring the line between tool and, well, almost like a partner.
They are, and it makes you think about the future of creativity.
Yeah.
Imagine a writer working with an AI agent to write a novel, or a composer like writing a symphony with AI help.
So not just AI making stuff on its own, but humans and AI working together.
Right. The AI can give you ideas, handle some of the technical parts, so the human artist can focus on the heart of the work, the emotions, the big ideas.
That's cool, but it also raises a question. What does it mean to be an artist when AI can create art too?
That's a deep one. It forces us to think about what creativity really is. Is it just about what you produce? Or is it the process, the intent, the human connection behind it?
Maybe it's both. Maybe artists will become more like curators, guiding the AI, shaping what it creates.
Could be. And that's where things get really interesting. AI not just as a tool, but as a collaborator. Humans and AI achieving something neither could do alone.
Exciting stuff, but also a little scary,
I get it. Big changes always are. But the main thing is, we're living in a time unlike any other, and AI is right at the center of it.
It is. And this week has shown us there's a lot of good that can come from AI, but also some real challenges we got to face.
No doubt. And it's on all of us to figure out how to make sure AI benefits humanity, not the other way around.
And that's a great note to end on, I think. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI.
My pleasure. As always, keep learning, keep asking questions, because the future of AI, it's being written right now.